Town Bank Mortgage, NMLS number 512138, is an equal housing lender. This podcast is for informational purposes only. And now, the man born with a 5 o'clock shadow and with the NMLS number 2028-201. He is a gentleman. He is a scholar. He is
Tyler Cralle.
All right, welcome everyone to the latest edition of the Cape Fear Reports. Halloween is now officially over. We moved into Thanksgiving and Christmas, and so it's going to be an interesting time for real estate. But we're still going to be doing podcasts here on, of course, the Cape Fear Reports. And joining us here in studio, very happy that she's here because she's an expert in a place that is very cool here for the Cape Fear region, and that would be Suzanne O'Bryant, Global Real Estate Advisor at Landmark Sotheby's International Realty. And Suzanne, thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So we are going to talk about bald head because I've heard a lot of titles for you, like Queen of Bald Head, number one agent of bald head. And so I do want to talk about bald head, but I'd like to start kind of in the beginning and talk about kind of your background. Because I know you're kind of from where I'm from,
Yes.
the D.C. area.
D.C. area. Born and raised, Northern Virginia. My dad was born and raised there, which is something you know. Yeah, double.
It's hard to get double generations
double
up there.
D.C. Yeah, it's good.
I would say all my friends that I grew up are gone. So.
Yeah, no, most of them. I know. And I loved it. It was a great place to grow up. Came down for college. Feels like a million years ago. Went to NC State, and then I went back to D.C. actually after I graduated. Did a short stint at ExxonMobil. As a very young person, and then came back to North Carolina, lived in Charlotte, lived in Winston-Salem, lived in Greensboro, and then finally made my way to Wilmington. I worked in corporate communications, marketing, some sales, but I really enjoyed marketing. Just, sort of being face behind the stuff, really, which, not super customer facing, which was interesting. And when I came to Wilmington, I answered a 3-line ad in the newspaper, if that tells you how long ago it was. And
the classified section.
And people who know who that employer was really get a kick out of it because he would probably still do that if he could. And the ad was for a marketing director. And I was like, okay, great. And it turned out to be for a real estate development company.
Okay.
Small, family owned. And that morphed. I took that job. It morphed into a director of sales position. And then it turned into all the real estate you could possibly want.
So that's kind of when you realized you liked real estate.
That's when I transitioned into real estate.
Gotcha.
Learned the business from the ground up, which I was really fortunate to do. I don't think that that's something that a lot of agents get to do. So I learned about rezoning, all the non-sexy stuff. We were knee deep.
I don't know. It's funny because if you watch local, this is not sexy as you pointed out, but you watch local city council, county commission meetings, the things that get the most just anger and people show up for is zoning stuff. I'm like, when did zoning become the coolest and most important thing that people worry about? And now it is, I guess, because of the development issue.
Yeah.
But man, people show up and they're like, that's going to be an R3, not an R1.
They do. We went through many of those rezoning cases in my time there. And yeah, people get fired up.
Yeah.
I was the chick up there talking to them a couple of times. It was great. I loved it.
So was NC State kind of the first time you came to North Carolina?
Pretty much. Other than, vacationing some, from DC. We used to go to the Outer Banks a little bit. And then I think my dad had his sights set on maybe we'll have a vacation home or something. If we can get her to college down there.
Yeah.
So he was very you should go to an ACC school. It'll be great. This is late 80s.
That's true.
And so.
That's back when all ACC schools were
great.
Were in the East Coast, North Carolina, Virginia, and Maryland. And then all of a sudden now we're everywhere.
Yep. And then Georgia Tech won the national football championship in football, which if that tells you how long ago.
Yeah, I was going to say, when was that?
They're having a good year.
True.
1991, I think, or 90. And so anyway, we came down, looked at all the schools. I fell in love with Raleigh, fell in love with NC State. Loved it. I loved my time there.
Yeah, it's interesting too because a lot of times people who I know that go to NC State, obviously they have other areas, but usually you think engineering.
Engineers,
yeah. And so it's because I had Richard Collier on, who's running for city council, and he went there and he's a civil engineer.
And to be clear, as an 18-year-old girl, I was also thinking engineers. I was like, the ratio is flipped on its head. I was like, this sounds great.
It's funny because I had Franklin Rouse on the program not too long ago. He's also went to NC State.
I like Franklin.
And so I'm thinking NC State could be the leader in the clubhouse with regards to guests on this program. I would not have thought that.
I love to hear it.
UNCW is not too far behind, and UNC, obviously, Chapel Hill is not too far behind. So let's talk about, like I said, a lot of people know you and what you're doing down in Bald Head.
Yes.
And I will say, my parents moved down here in 2000. I technically moved here, but then I was away at college. Officially moved here summer 2004. So I've been here 21 years, and this was I went to Bald Head for the first time this summer.
It's crazy.
And everyone's like, that's the craziest thing I'd ever heard. I'd known about it.
Yeah.
I had just never had a reason to go there. And I got to tell you, it is very cool. I mean, getting on the ferry, and then it's like you get off and there's no cars. It's just golf carts. And it's immediately, you are just in a more relaxed space.
Yes. So we say, like, we breathe a little easier over there, I think.
Well, yeah, I mean, exactly. And I was told that because of, there's like some scientific reason why, but storms a lot of times don't hit the island. And so it's like you guys also get some pretty great weather a lot of the times.
It's awesome weather. But yeah, no, same. I visited there when I was in college. My parents were looking for a place to retire, and they very quickly were like, this place is crazy. It's a little too quiet. You know, they were coming from DC.
Yeah.
And I was very quickly like, I love this place. And I told them, they love to tell the story that I said during that trip, I will own a house here one day. I want to get married here one day, and I'm gonna live here one day. And they were like, well, you're crazy, but okay. And so we've been there. My husband and I have been there full time for 7 years.
Oh, wow. Because that is something that's kind of interesting. How many people are on the island? Like, I guess how many houses are there?
So I think we're getting close to 900 houses.
So 900.
Yeah,
okay.
Close. I think we're in the 800s. And of that, well, COVID changed things. Pre-COVID, I think they would say about 200 registered voters.
Okay.
And now I think we're up to like 320. But there's, I would say, double that who truly split their time there, who really are spending 6 months of the year there and working, remotely a lot. So COVID helped. We moved there pre-COVID. It was a little quiet. I don't know that, I'm not sure that we would have stayed and loved it the way we do now. But COVID brought people from a lot of other places. And I think the biggest thing it did is people who really never spent time there outside of the summer realize that it's really great. And there's still stuff that goes on. So people are there a lot. We have great friends there. And it's been good.
Well, I mean, what's kind of amazing about, like I said, Bald Head is the fact that there are so many people that second home. I mean, so I guess the majority of them are second homes. Yeah. And so you don't think about the people that are living there all the time. And so, I mentioned, we got,
we're not all weird, I promise.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you guys have life figured out. It's like the people
awesome.
that, people talk about like Wilmington, right? Like it's a vacation destination. It's like you're living in a place where people vacation. And you guys are like that next level of vacation. Like you're on your own island where everybody goes to vacation.
All day, every day.
But I mean, so we got Thanksgiving coming up. We got Christmas coming up. And I mean, what happens during, because obviously real estate slows down just in general. But somewhere like Bald Head, I assume things just like stand still.
Yeah, it does. And I mean, it's changed even just over the last few years. I mean, it used to get really quiet right after Labor Day. Now our shoulder season goes pretty long. Last weekend is sort of like our big last weekend. We celebrate Halloween on the island the week before Halloween. And so we have that. And then it gets quiet. People go there for Thanksgiving, mostly owners, and that week between Christmas and New Year's is really popular. A lot of people do New Year's, and there's parties. The clubs do parties. It's fun, and then it's crickets. I mean,
really? Okay, that would make sense. Yeah,
it's brutal. I mean, you don't love to. It sounds great to drive around in a golf cart. I invite you to please come visit me in February, and we'll take a little ride in the golf cart. It's not great in January and February. So we try to travel, and real estate is pretty slow at that point over there. But we do have an early spring. Like our real estate spring starts in February there. Okay. Because they are mostly second homes. A lot of them are rentals. So if somebody wants to buy a house there and they want to put it on a rental program, they really need to buy it and they need to pick it out in February, March. Yeah. Close, hire a property manager, do the things they want, and get it on the calendar to have a summer. Well, and so what's also kind of interesting too is that you have such there's only 900 homes as you mentioned. And because a lot of second homes and they are, on a private island and of course there's a beach. And so there's not a lot of kind of normal
homes. So you're dealing at a much higher price point. And so usually when you think of sort of luxury real estate, I talked to David Benford, of course, also with Landmark, Sotheby's, and, he talked to me about, kind of luxury real estate and kind of the differences that exist. But obviously here in Wilmington, you have luxury, but then you have kind of more normal. And so what is it like kind of being in a place where it's like everything is just that higher price point? Like everything's a jumbo loan. Everything is, if they even need one, everything's at that higher price point.
I mean, it sounds like it's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's definitely challenges to it. And we do. We certainly have some inventory that's under $1 million, but for the most part, yeah, it's high end. I would say there's a higher level of responsibility.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing that I recognized right out of the gate, and I was so thankful for my prior experience, is that you're dealing with executives constantly.
Yeah.
I mean, you're dealing with very smart people, very successful people. And not only do you need to know your real estate and know your market, but you've got to be able to carry on a conversation. And people weed that out pretty quickly. So I definitely was thankful for some corporate experience. But yeah, I mean, it's the flip side to that is everybody's always in a good mood because I'm helping people buy their beach houses. Yeah. I mean, this is something that most people have waited for a long time, and they are in a really good mood about it. So
is it a lot of people? Because you think about wealthier sort of clientele, and I guess you sort of think the two extremes where you have some of the people who are just like, yeah, whatever, like super cool, like just don't really care. They're just so happy they're that, at that level of wealth where they're like, whatever happens. And then you have some people who are just like super micromanagers.
Yes.
And so is that kind of what you experience?
100%.
It's just one extreme or the other?
100%. That's it. This week is I'm living in that world. And we do say, and we do have some timeshares there too.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they're $80,000. And I will talk to those people more sometimes than I will talk to the $4 million buyer for that reason. But then the other $4 million buyer is like, hey, I'm going to send you a couple spreadsheets that I want you to review, please. And am I thinking about this the right way? And am I, what am I missing? And yeah, I mean, it's a high level of practicing real estate.
So, I mean, I'm assuming you're talking to sometimes like their CPA and some of the people that
we're talking to their wealth managers.
Gotcha.
I mean, usually they're not signing their contracts.
Yeah.
I mean, other people are signing them for them. Yes, we are talking to all of their teams. So there's a tremendous amount of communication that goes on.
And so you mentioned the timeshare. So, I mean, is that something that you guys handle? Or, I mean, how does that work? Is there a company that does that?
We handle everything. Yep. No, there's one little neighborhood on the island, and then there's a couple of sort of one-offs, but you can buy into. There's shared houses called the hammocks. They're great. And you actually get club access with them, so they're super popular. So yes, I do. I say there's nothing. People go, oh, you're Sotheby's. It's so can you handle this? I'm like, yes, I'm happy. Everybody gets the same attention. It's 80,000. It's 800,000. Whatever. Yeah.
I mean, it's like I said. I mean, it's all happening on the island. So do you do any business kind of outside the island? I mean, I'm sure you get some people that'll say, hey, maybe they were originally looking at Bald Head, and then maybe they think, no, maybe you want to be more Southport or somewhere like that. Yeah,
that happens. That happens quite a bit going in reverse because I did sell real estate here for so many years. In new construction, I met a lot of the agents in Wilmington, which I'm grateful for those relationships as well. And I also established a relationship with a lot of those buyers. So I do have them call me occasionally. Surprisingly, or maybe not, I mean, you probably heard this, a lot of people in Wilmington have houses at Bald Head.
Yeah.
And so sometimes, we have a relationship there, and then they'll say, oh, we need help in Wilmington. So I did recently bring a team member on to help me on the mainland because it's, taking the ferry back and forth is not ideal. But I do a lot in Southport. I do a lot in St. James. And then, for my Wilmington clients, I have a partner now.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, because I do love it, but yeah, it's a whole day.
It's a day.
It's a day.
If I have to go off to show property in Southport, I'm like, okay, well, I cannot do anything on Bald Head today. So yeah, I try to stay there.
So do you feel like most people, so I'm assuming a lot of the people that are looking at buying probably have been there before.
Yes.
Because I was like, I mean, it is sort of like the first time I went there, I was like, I mean, I probably had heard that there weren't cars, but I think I kind of was like, oh, really? There's no cars here?
There really aren't.
Yeah. And then, it's just sort of getting used to kind of, figuring out what's open, what's not open. And so, I mean, I was wondering, like I said, how many people do you get that are kind of like, you have to explain to them like, hey, this is what a private island is actually like.
More than you would think, actually. And what happens a lot, especially in the summer, is people get there and they fall in love with it.
Yeah.
And they're like, hi, we're here. We know nothing except for the house we're staying in and this beach access that we're going to. Can you give us a tour? So the summer is full of tours and, kind of explaining things. But no, I mean, a lot of people make a decision to buy while they're on vacation, which is wild.
Yeah.
But most people have been there. During COVID, there were some exceptions. There were definitely some sight unseen, lots of sight unseen purchases from big cities that, they were just like, we've got to get somewhere that we can be outside. And I definitely helped people during that time. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, they know, but there is a lot of education that goes into that. Just talking about, I mean, we have different tax rates. We have different, coastal insurance, obviously, we're all dealing with that. The island's a little bit different. So yeah, we spend a lot of time educating.
Yeah, I mean, it's also kind of interesting, too, because last time I was over there and just sort of how you have to kind of plan way in advance. Because I remember I was seeing all these people coming onto the island, clearly live there, and they have all their groceries. And I'm like, oh, yeah. I mean, obviously there's a grocery store on the island.
There's a market.
But it's, I mean, we all think of how easy it is to, just run out to the store and grab something, and you just don't have that.
No, no, we became a logistics specialist really quickly when we moved there. We keep a cooler in the car, a bin in the car. We're always sort of like provisioning on the mainland. We have a lot more over there now than we did, which is good. But you pay for it. So
how does the development kind of work over there? I mean, are there new kind of commercial places that are opening up, or do they allow that? I mean, I kind of just don't really know anything about that.
Yeah, they allow it under a pretty big thumb.
Okay,
which is actually getting better. There's some ugly commercial stuff over there because it did not used to fall under the purview of the residential architectural review. So that's a story for a different day. But the buildings are getting prettier, thankfully. Okay. But yeah, and it's growing. There is a there are some restrictions. There's a lot of restrictions, but no chains. So we're not ever going to have a Starbucks,
gotcha.
Much to some people's dismay. So all local stuff. But we have a hardware store. We have a spa. Lots of little shoppy shops, I call them.
How much is under? I mean, are there still a lot of areas that could be developed, or is it more just redevelopment?
No, yeah. There are, I think, two parcels that are still under commercial that have yet to be developed. Maybe three, and then only really two large parcels left that are residential on the island. So the master plan has been in place for years and years, decades, hasn't changed, and so we'll be at build out is maybe between 12 and 1,300. So yeah, not much left, but definitely some exciting commercial things coming.
I mean, because that definitely has to be kind of interesting because, we talk about development a lot of times, and it's, I guess Wilmington, we're kind of getting there because we only have about 10% of land left that's not developed that can be developed. But usually it's just people not just getting angry about just sort of normal, they don't want to see an apartment or something like that. But there, it's like if you do commercial, then you lose residential. That could have been residential and then vice versa. And so that's got to be.
But we don't. So that plan has never changed. So the way that the Mitchell family who developed it mapped it out long ago, and certainly there could be some rezoning or people have asked through the years. But for the most part, those areas were already specified and really haven't changed. So yeah, if somebody puts up a commercial building, it's not taking residential or vice versa.
Gotcha. Okay.
And there is definitely some people who don't want any of that.
Yeah,
and you can imagine. I mean, that the island has changed significantly over the years, and even in the last 5 to 10 years. So people who bought there 20 years ago were buying something very different than what it is now. And there tends to be just sort of a natural progression off the island.
So you think it's been as drastic as what we've seen in Wilmington?
It's relative.
Okay.
Probably. I mean, when you look at the scale of how tiny the island is and the numbers that we're talking about, really probably. We had more building permits pulled last year than in the 5 previous years.
Oh, wow.
So things are moving pretty rapidly. I mean, I definitely think we hit critical mass. We were starting to sound like a good idea before COVID, and then we sounded like a really good idea. And, it's interesting being local. Everybody here who's known Bald Head for years goes, wow, I mean, the prices have really gone up. Things are it's so expensive. And, the villas used to be $300,000. Now they're $1 million. But we still look super affordable compared to everywhere else.
Yeah.
You lose kind of half the market because they don't want to get on a boat. And I get that. So that's always something we try to overcome. But we look super affordable compared to Kiowa, the Northeast. So our geographic area of buyers has really expanded because we're getting people who used to buy in the Northeast and used to buy in the Southeast and Florida, and now they can't. They're priced out. So that's been interesting.
So it was interesting because we have Bald Head Island, then we get Figure 8 Island. And do people ever get those confused? Or
No, not in my experience. No, two very different places.
Well, I know, because I was going to say is that, Figure 8 is obviously more accessible.
Yeah.
But then, of course, you have some really kind of crazy properties.
Yeah, and some barriers to entry over there are a little bit different for sure.
And so I was just wondering because, they're both places that, what's funny is that I guess technically Bald Head's a little bit more accessible. I mean, with regards to whenever I'm on there's always people that are clearly just going there for a day trip.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to Figure 8 for the day. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, you might try, but
they're not letting you in. Yeah.
And so what's interesting to me is the people that do go for the day. I mean, because obviously I do that. I'm usually doing it, to go in there to talk to some realtors, grab some food. But there are people that go there and like they got beach chairs, and so it's like, I mean, I guess you don't think about public beaches. And so like where is there like one spot where most of the tourists go?
I mean, yes and no. We're having a bathroom debate right now.
Okay.
It's like bathroom debate 2.0. Nothing like the original bathroom debate of North Carolina, but all of our beaches are public.
Yeah.
But you have to either rent a golf cart or a bike to get to most of them. So unfortunately, a lot of people who come for the day just don't really do their research, and they pop over there and they want to go to the beach. Well, they're stuck with where they can walk, which is the beach right next to where the ferry comes in, and that's technically the river. So it's not really, I feel like a lot of times people come for the day and they're sold a false bill of goods. Like they leave and they're like, Bald Head's not all that great, and it's because they just like had to go cop a squat on the river beach.
Oh yeah.
So, but I mean, I think if they do the research, yes, but there's no public bathrooms, there's no public showers, so it's not very hospitable for somebody who wants to pop over for the day.
Well, that's what kind of surprised me when I was first doing it, because I was, kind of thinking it was, you kind of had to know someone or something. I saw these people, I'm like, I don't think they know anybody. And like, they just kind of going off on an
wandering
adventure.
around. Sometimes I'll be driving in my golf cart and somebody will be standing there with a map, and I usually try to stop and say, like, do you need directions or a ride? And it's always amazing. People will be like, well, where's the town?
Where the downtown?
Yeah, where's the downtown? I've gotten that. And people have asked too, like, is there a car rental place? I'm like, there's a cart rental place. It's funny, but yeah, some people do come over and they come over to see the lighthouse because they've read about it, and they don't do any other research, and they just get on the boat, and then they get there and they're like, there is no downtown.
I know. I guess that one little area right when you get off the ferry could be like the downtown, I guess. What's cool though is that I did get a photo of the lighthouse the first time I went there. Is that the oldest lighthouse in North Carolina? Is that what I read?
It's the oldest one, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I was like, everyone posts that. I've seen that photo 1,000 times. And so I was like, I better get a photo of it for my Instagram.
It's very cool. Yes.
And it was kind of funny because it's like right there.
Yeah. It didn't used to be there. It used to be down at the other end. So it sort of sat on the point if you look at a map, and it used to sit right down there where the Conservancy is now.
Okay.
And they moved it at some point when they didn't need it for what it used to be, which was totally a navigational beacon that sat like on the edge. So they moved it, and the old little, pilings are still there, but yeah. So now it's more of a.
So you can't turn it on now.
So it's a very, and I will not get into this because I will mess it up, even though I sit on the board of the Old Baldy Foundation.
I love that name too. I
can't remember Old Baldy. It's good. It's this particular kind of lens, like a Fraxel lens.
Oh, okay.
And it's very delicate and has to have very special care taken of it. So no, it's not on, but could it be? Yes.
Okay. I didn't know if they shot fireworks or something from it, like during the holidays or something. Like
expressly prohibited fireworks on the island. No, they do not.
Oh, so there are no fireworks at all on the island?
No.
Oh,
because,
I guess that makes sense.
Think about it, because if we had a fire, which we have had a few times, it's pretty catastrophic, pretty frightening too.
I guess that's true, because I mean, you got. I mean, obviously you probably have a little fire department, but
we actually have a big fire department, and we just got a brand new.
Well,
fire
let the
truck.
fireworks go then. You got a big fire department.
Let's see what happens. Yeah. Oh, good Lord. Yeah.
I did want to, it's funny because, we talked about the higher price point kind of with the houses, and I did see that you had an article in Realtor.com for one of your listings.
Oh, yeah.
For the, which I want to make sure I get it was on the Peppervine.
Was it Peppervine?
Peppervine Trl one, yeah.
Okay, you're actually breaking news right now.
Oh, okay.
Because Larissa, who wrote that article, that was like 3 months ago, and then every time I checked back, she's like, they haven't published yet. And I just have not looked. So I have yet to see the article.
Yeah. I was doing some research as I normally
Very
do.
Nice. I can't wait to go see that.
September. I think it got published at the end of September.
Okay, well, that makes sense. I haven't looked in about a month. So yes, that is a gorgeous house on Peppervine Trl. Love that house. It's
and so
contract.
what was, because I mean they were talking about it, just I guess how it was designed.
Yeah.
I mean, because what was kind of fascinating was they said that it actually wasn't in a flood zone.
It's shocking that it isn't, and you would think the entire island would be a flood zone because it's an island, and sometimes it feels like it is, but no, that is really interesting. Peppervine Trl is an oceanfront street. That house sits one row back, but most houses that are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows back are still in the flood zone.
Oh yeah.
And there's just a little pocket there that is not. I think why they chose that house is because it was totally renovated and redone by an architect in Baltimore.
I have their name. I
Yes.
can pull it up. It's Everett Scrum.
Everett Scrum.
Okay, well, make sure I get that.
Does some gorgeous work. But yeah, the owners were from Baltimore, and it was their second home. And after Hurricane Florence, they had some damage, and they decided to just rip the Band-Aid off, and they did a gorgeous renovation. They added a bedroom and a bathroom and did all these things. It's absolutely stunning. And they made decisions in there that aren't so kind of like coastal, like it's actually stunning. So yeah, they at Realtor.com reached out to me and said, hey, we want to feature this house, and we know this architect, and so anyway, pretty interesting.
Well, no, I mean, because I was thinking that, a lot of times here in Wilmington, we'll have some houses that'll get some national attention. I remember David had a listing that was right there in Wrightsville that got a lot of attention for the price point it was at, and there's recently one that was done. Connor Barth, I guess, is doing the house, and that got a lot of attention. And so we get that every once in a while in Wilmington. And of course, every once in a while you hear about a house in Figure 8.
Yes.
And so, I mean, that I would assume Bald Head also gets that every once in a while, just because of just kind of the coolness of the island and just, like I said, the higher price point.
For sure. And, there are some celebrity owners, so occasionally we get questions about that, but we're all pretty protective. I mean, that's one of the things that we've been told from people who are recognized and recognizable is they chose Bald Head because everybody leaves them alone there.
Yeah, sure.
Everybody's somebody and nobody really cares who anybody is. And, you sit next to them at the bar and it's fine. But yeah, we get some attention there. Actually just listed a house in Southport that is on the historic register, and it was one of the original blockade runners' houses.
Oh, okay.
It's the one with the red roof when you're coming across. That sits right there. And so we've gotten a lot of attention here recently. I think we'll have a lot of things published, but it stares right across that Bald Head and Old Baldy. So cool.
Well, I was about to ask if one of the celebrities was still on the island, but I don't want you to break the secrecy of the island, so I won't ask.
Thank you.
But I mean that's got to be kind of cool though. Like I said, to kind of have these houses that get these articles and things written about them. And like I said, to be kind of in a small place.
Southern Living is always, in fact, I think just yesterday or the day before, they did another little piece. And, they're always doing this, like, where should you go on your next vacation? And we're all like, anywhere but here. No, not really.
I know. It's so funny that every time you go to like a beach town in the Cape Fear region, every beach town's like, we're full.
Don't tell anybody else about this.
Everyone used to get so excited when we'd make some top 10 lists for like best beach in the country, and now everyone's like, print a retraction.
It is not. It's a lie. I know. I'm conflicted. I mean, obviously, my profession would love for people to keep coming, but no. I mean, being there,
So what is the I would say probably one of the key components or one of the differences versus what you're doing on Bald Head versus what you do kind of like in Wilmington. I mean, like I said, obviously you got the higher price point. I mean, do most of the clients get mortgages? Because I was wondering about that, because I was thinking about, second homes and then, of course, the jumbo. And so you run into some complications there. But then I was like, I bet a lot of them probably don't even get mortgages.
It's about 50-50.
Okay.
I mean, and when money was cheap a few years ago, everybody was getting them. So, definitely. So I appreciate you guys more than you know. Lately, our market's really been sort of upside down. It's the high-end stuff that's moving, and people are paying cash.
Gotcha.
And, we have a lot more inventory in that $1 million price point, 1 to 1.5, that we don't usually have. It usually flies off the shelf, and those buyers are waiting for rates to come down. So, it'll be interesting. We have a stable of buyers just kind of saying, if we can get to 5%, that would feel better than 6.2 or whatever it is this week. So it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next year, I think.
So I mean, do you feel like you're in a normal housing market? I know you mentioned that you're seeing some houses sit longer, but it's kind of funny about, Wilmington is that it does feel like we're at least getting back to some normalcy. After just craziness for so long but because everyone in the industry, a lot of people have gotten in are newer, they're like, oh my gosh, houses are sitting for 60 days. This is crazy. And I'm like, oh, it's not actually that crazy.
No.
And so, I mean, so do you guys feel that Bald Head sort of, I mean, because what is a normal market in Bald Head? Does that even exist?
Yeah. I mean, it did. It does. And I think we're getting ready to see how that's going to level out. We used to, pre-COVID, I know the first year when my husband and I first bought a house there, which was a second home, a rental, it had been on the market, oh my gosh, 6 or 7 months. And there were so many to choose from. So a normal inventory there used to be between 60 and 80 homes. We got down to a low of 2 during COVID, at one point none, and ramped back up very slowly last year. And then this year, I mean, and people are freaking out like, oh my gosh, what's happening? There's so many houses on the market. It's still not back to where it was.
Yeah.
And I think it's healthy. I mean, it's, when people are clamoring to buy these houses and they're making crazy offers and they're doing crazy things and they're not making good decisions. I mean, by and large, and I try to help them make the best decision they can. But when somebody wants something, they want it.
Yeah.
And especially something like a second home, it's a longer play. I mean, I have really established relationships with my clients because we work with each other. I mean, sometimes for a long time, a beach house is a want. Yeah. It's not a need. So nobody's moving really quickly. So, the relationship takes longer to develop and the sale process is longer usually.
So how long do houses normally kind of sit? Would you say like a normal market?
Yeah, I mean, our days on market is definitely up. We're up, I would say about 30%. But it was like we had 3 or 4 houses to choose from. If one came on, there were multiple offers. I mean, and we still occasionally have multiple offers there. The houses that are sitting are right now fall into 3 categories. They're either overpriced to begin with, there's something wrong with them, or they're in that little sweet spot where somebody really needs a mortgage and really doesn't want, a 6 and whatever it's going to be. So no, I mean, if it's priced well and it's in a good spot and, it moves still. So yeah, right now we're sitting at about 50 houses in inventory.
Gotcha.
It's kind of fluctuating over the last couple of weeks, 50, 60. But yeah, it feels more normal. And a lot of that is new construction, which people don't typically buy beach houses while they're under construction. Yeah. They like to see them. So our new construction days on market is a lot longer.
Yeah. I mean, it is sort of interesting, like I said, because as you said, it is you're dealing with second homes. And so people don't necessarily have to, move and have to buy the house.
There is no sense of urgency.
Yeah. And so that does seem kind of, I mean, I guess it's sort of similar to, Wrightsville Beach, but there are a lot of people that live on Wrightsville Beach. Yeah. I mean, not a ton compared to like a normal place, but probably more than percentage-wise than Bald Head.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. No, there's zero sense of urgency. I mean, save the, 18 months of really high COVID when people were just making crazy moves. No, it really, you have to be patient. I mean, I actually had somebody close a couple of months ago who I met on their first trip during COVID. So I met them in the summer of 2020, and I have been showing them houses every time they've come to the island since 2020. And they come 2 or 3 times a year, and they finally found what they were looking for, which is great. But yes, no, I mean, the relationship and the sales process is a lot longer with second plus homes.
I mean, that does make a lot of sense.
Gotta be patient.
Well, I mean, and it's also one of the problems that you're sort of running into just in the housing market in general is a lot of people still thinking, because I think I saw a stat today that said that home prices were down about 3% from the all-time high of 2022. We're still up year over year,
right. Yep.
But we're down about 3%. And so you still have people who maybe you're kind of listing their houses a little bit too high. And so I was wondering with the second home market, is that still kind of an issue? Because I've always wondered, because, obviously someone who's selling a primary, they're going to have to move somewhere. So they want to make as much money as possible. And so is that an issue with the second home market?
It is, and I think that's a 50-50 thing too. Mm-hmm. I would say 50% of my clients really lean on me and say, we're not there. We don't know the market. I mean, they're in New York, they're in Ohio, they're wherever they are. And they say, we trust you to tell us what it is. The other 50% are like, I mean, I don't have to sell it, but if I could get this number, I would. So let's try this.
Gotcha.
So I have some hard conversations with some sellers on that. Like, okay. And I recently have started, we'll try your price for 30 days. Sign this. And then, the market will tell us.
Yeah.
And then we'll go to my price. and we've had to do that a couple of times. But yeah, there's definitely still, because most people who, can afford one of those nice beach houses don't need to sell it. I mean, it does happen sometimes, but yeah.
Well, what's funny with sort of someone's primary residence is that they put so much into it. It's like, that's their home. That's,
so
and they've designed it the way they wanted it to. And so I was wondering if that attachment exists with second homes, that probably not to the same extent, where it's not like, what do you mean they didn't like my couch?
Yeah.
That was a great couch.
No, I mean, there are certainly exceptions to the rule, but no, I mean, most 99% of those houses are being sold fully furnished, turnkey. And by turnkey, it's like down to the cloth napkins. I mean, the silverware. It more often than not, my buyers, when they close, are like, oh, like, we wish they had taken some of this stuff. I mean, closets full of just everything and everything in the garage. No, I mean, you're pretty detached. And especially being on the island, it's hard to move things off of there.
I was going to say,
you can't just pull up to your garage and load it up and take it down to wherever.
You're like paying them to take your furniture.
100%. Like, it's definitely, it's tough. So no, there's a certain level of detachment that goes along with some of those houses for sure.
Now, I do want to ask, because I'm a golfer.
Yes.
I've been playing since I was in high school. And I've not played the Bald Head course, so how is
It's great. Come
is it
play.
great? Is it great?
Yes.
Okay.
Love to have you.
I just wanted to ask. Because I was like, because every time I go over there, there's people taking their clubs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I always wonder, because it's, on an island, and,
It's a really cool course. There's I don't know, a few holes with ocean views, and then you kind of get all the environments. You're back in the woods, you're near the lighthouse, you've got a great breeze. It's a beautiful course. It's actually getting ready to close.
Okay, so it does close. Okay.
Well, no, it does not close, but it's getting ready to get completely redesigned and redone.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
Really amazing. Great golf course architect, Andrew Green, so we're very excited. It will close in October of 26 and stay closed through October of 27. So
wow.
There are people absolutely losing their minds.
So it's closing next October?
Next October.
Okay,
yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh, wow.
So they're going to phase the first 9, but then all of it will be closed for about 7 months, I think.
Okay.
So that's exciting.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Just when I was learning like how to stay out of that sand trap and stay out of that water, it's going to change a little bit. So yeah, it's time. It's about 20 years old. So,
okay.
It's time to redo the greens.
And so it's just the 18 holes?
Yep.
Gotcha.
Just 18 holes. They're beautiful though. Yes. So come play.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've like I said, I saw people with the clubs, and I'm like, man, this must be pretty good if they're hauling their clubs on a ferry.
Yeah.
And then before I let you go, I did want to ask, because it is a private island. So do you think that Bald Head's the best place to go if there's a zombie apocalypse? Or are you going to try and discourage people from going
No,
there?
don't come there. Would I leave? No. Do I want you to come? No.
Because I always, someone had mentioned to me one time that the Battleship would be the best place to go if there's a zombie apocalypse, because you could be there and you only got 2 entry points and you can kind of guard those areas. But then I was like, you know what? A private island is probably way better.
It's up there. I got to tell you, it was a great place to be during COVID. We actually felt pretty terrible sometimes about ourselves because, I mean, just.
So did anything shut down with COVID? Or
it did. I mean, it did
bit?
Briefly. I mean, we came back a lot more quickly. But, even while things were shut down, I mean, just miles and miles of pristine beaches. And I mean, you could walk all over the island and everybody who was there could walk and not run into anybody and stay away from each other. So, not exactly the zombie apocalypse.
Yes, thank goodness. Well, Suzanne, I appreciate you taking the time, joining us here on the mainland, and doing the podcast and giving us kind of a breakdown of Bald Head. Because like I said, it was cool to go there for the first time, and I'm trying to get as many opportunities to go back. So thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Come back.